Music and Art 7, Quarter 2, Lesson 3. Conventional traditional or local folk music common to the Philippines and Southeast Asia. Traditional dance and festivals. Learning competency. After this lesson, you must be able to correlate the concepts, processes, and/or practices of contemporary and emerging creative works to conventional local folk performing arts of the Philippines and selected Southeast Asian countries. Objectives. By the end of this lesson, students will be able to discuss the significance of traditional dances and festivals in reflecting cultural identity. Correlate traditional dance practices with contemporary creative works. Create and evaluate performance tasks inspired by traditional dance and festivals. Engaging and motivational activity. Dance around Southeast Asia. Show a 2-minute compilation video featuring traditional dances like Tinikling, Philippines, Saman dance, Indonesia, and Lam Vong, Laos. Ask students, what similarities or differences do you notice between the movements of the dancers? What emotions do you feel watching these dances? Discuss briefly how these dances connect to cultural celebrations or festivals. Introduction. Traditional dances and festivals in the Philippines and Southeast Asia are deeply rooted in the region's rich history and cultural identity. Before the modern era, these practices played a vital role in expressing community values, spiritual beliefs, and shared experiences. Dances like the Tinikling and Singkil in the Philippines, or the Saman dance in Indonesia and Ram Thai in Thailand, served as storytelling tools that passed down legends, rituals, and social customs through generations. Festivals such as the Philippines' Ati-Atihan or Thailand's Songkran not only showcased these dances but also fostered communal celebration and unity. Even in contemporary times, these traditional performances inspire new creative works, blending the past with the present and ensuring that cultural heritage remains alive. Exploring these forms helps us understand how art continues to be a powerful medium for preserving and celebrating identity. Traditional dances in Southeast Asia. Tinikling, Philippines. Originating from Leyte, this dance mimics the movements of the Tinikling bird avoiding bamboo traps. It requires agility and precise footwork as dancers rhythmically step between clapping bamboo poles. It is often performed during local fiestas, highlighting Filipino ingenuity and grace. The dance involves performers gracefully stepping between moving bamboo poles, which are rhythmically clapped together. It reflects the agricultural lifestyle of Filipinos in pre-colonial and early colonial times. While the Spaniards introduced the systematic documentation and promotion of such dances, the Tinikling is fundamentally based on earlier indigenous practices and natural inspirations. Its pre-war status is tied to its deep cultural and historical roots, representing the ingenuity, rhythm, and community spirit of early Filipino society. Traditional dances in Southeast Asia. Singkil, Philippines. A traditional Maranao dance from Mindanao, it recounts the Durangian epic, where a princess gracefully maneuvers between crisscrossed bamboo poles. Often performed at grand cultural events, it symbolizes resilience and nobility. The Singkil is performed with elegance and precision, often involving props such as fans and scarves, symbolizing royalty and cultural sophistication. It was historically performed to showcase the Maranao people's rich cultural heritage and was traditionally reserved for royal occasions, including celebrations of noble status or significant events. This dance, with its storytelling elements and connection to pre-colonial traditions, reflects the indigenous practices of the Maranao people before the modern era.
Traditional dances in Southeast Asia. Banga, Philippines. Originating from the Kalinga tribe in the Cordillera region of northern Luzon, the dance has roots in pre-colonial Philippine culture. It showcases the daily lives of the Kalinga women, specifically their strength and grace as they balance heavy clay pots, banga, on their heads while performing elegant movements. The Banga dance reflects the indigenous practices and lifestyle of the Kalinga people long before Western influences arrived in the Philippines, making it part of the country's traditional folk culture. While specific documentation of its exact timeline might be limited, its connection to the pre-war era is evident through its indigenous origins and purpose as a cultural expression.
Traditional dances in Southeast Asia. Saman dance. Indonesia. The Saman dance reflects traditional values of cooperation, discipline, and unity. The Saman dance of Indonesia is a pre-war dance with roots in the cultural traditions of the Galaw ethnic group from Aceh, Sumatra. This dance is believed to have been created by Sheikh Saman, a religious leader, as a means of spreading Islamic teachings during the 14th century. The dance combines rhythmic hand clapping, body movements, and synchronized singing or chanting, often performed in a seated position by a group of men or women. Traditional dances in Southeast Asia. Lam Vong. Laos. Lam Vong is considered a pre-war traditional dance of Laos. Its origins date back to ancient Lao culture, long before colonial and modern influences. Lam Vong, which translates to circle dance, is performed in pairs, with dancers moving gracefully in a circular motion. The dance reflects the communal and celebratory aspects of Lao culture and is often accompanied by traditional Moor Lam music, which features instruments like the keen, a bamboo mouth organ. The dance has been performed during festivals, weddings, and other social gatherings, symbolizing harmony and unity within the community. While it continues to evolve, its foundations in pre-modern Lao traditions highlight its status as a pre-war cultural expression. Festival performances. Ati-Atihan. The Ati-Atihan festival and its associated dances are considered pre-war cultural traditions in the Philippines. The festival, held annually in Calibo, Aklan, has roots that date back centuries, long before the Spanish colonization of the Philippines. It originated as a pagan festival by the indigenous Itis, or Ati people, of Panay Island, who celebrated their relationship with nature and their gods through ritual dances and offerings. Festival performances. Pahiyas Festival. The Pahiyas Festival, celebrated annually in Lucban, Quezon, is rooted in pre-colonial Philippine traditions, making it a pre-war festival. Its origins trace back to indigenous harvest rituals conducted by local farmers to give thanks to Anito, their deity of harvest and nature. These early practices were deeply tied to animist beliefs, where offerings were made to ensure bountiful harvests and favorable weather conditions. Festival performances. Obando fertility rites. Philippines. Obando fertility rites in Bulacan are considered a pre-war tradition with roots in pre-colonial Philippine culture. These rites were originally animistic fertility dances performed by early Tagalog communities to honor deities of fertility, agriculture, and nature. Significance of traditional dances and festivals in reflecting cultural identity. Significance of traditional dances and festivals in reflecting cultural identity. Traditional dances and festivals play a critical role in preserving and showcasing the cultural identity of a community or nation. They serve as living expressions of history, values, and beliefs passed down through generations. Here are key points about their significance. Preservation of heritage. Traditional dances like the Philippine Tinikling or Indonesia's Saman dance embody historical narratives and reflect the practices and challenges of earlier generations. They preserve ancient traditions, making them accessible to future generations. Expression of community values. Festivals often revolve around religious, agricultural, or social themes, such as the Ati-Atihan in the Philippines, a tribute to Santo Niño, or Thailand's Songkran, a celebration of the new year. These highlight communal gratitude, reverence, and joy. Significance of traditional dances and festivals in reflecting cultural identity. Symbolism and storytelling. Many dances tell stories or represent symbolic acts. For example, the Maranao Singkil narrates the Deranjan epic, while the Thai Kon depicts episodes from the Ramayana. These performances often use movements, costumes, and props to communicate meaning, fostering unity and identity. Participating in these cultural activities strengthens communal bonds and fosters a shared sense of identity. This is particularly evident in festivals where people come together to celebrate common traditions. Correlation between traditional dance practices and contemporary creative works. Contemporary creative works often draw inspiration from traditional dance practices, blending the old with the new to create innovative expressions. Here are some examples. Choreographic adaptations. Modern choreographers incorporate elements of traditional movements into contemporary dance. For instance, the rhythmic patterns of the Tinikling have been adapted into jazz and hip-hop routines, reflecting a fusion of cultural heritage and modern art forms. Storytelling through technology. Traditional dance performances, like the Saman dance, are now reimagined in digital art and virtual reality platforms, making them accessible to global audiences while preserving their essence. Festival-inspired art installations. Events like the Pahiyas festival inspire visual artists to create large-scale works that mimic the vibrant decorations and themes of the festival. Cultural tourism and commercialization. Many contemporary stage shows, such as those in Bali or Thailand, are modern reinterpretations of traditional dances designed for tourist audiences, maintaining cultural relevance while reaching new demographics. Reflection questions. How do traditional dances and festivals help preserve cultural identity? What similarities did you find between Filipino and Southeast Asian dances? How can you personally help keep these traditions alive? How do traditional dances and festivals help preserve cultural identity? Expression of heritage. Traditional dances and festivals embody the unique history, beliefs, and values of a community. They tell stories about historical events, agricultural practices, and ancestral traditions, serving as living reminders of cultural origins. Intergenerational connection. By teaching these dances and celebrating festivals, communities pass down their heritage to younger generations, ensuring that cultural practices remain alive. Community solidarity. These traditions foster unity by bringing people together in shared celebrations, reinforcing a collective identity, cultural pride. Participating in or witnessing traditional performances instills pride and a sense of belonging. Both for local communities and the diaspora, resistance to homogenization. In an increasingly globalized world, traditional dances and festivals act as a counterbalance to cultural homogenization, emphasizing local uniqueness. What similarities did you find between Filipino and Southeast Asian dances? Storytelling through movement. Both Filipino and Southeast Asian dances often use gestures and movements to narrate tales of myths, legends, or everyday life. Example: Singkil from the Philippines and Legong from Indonesia. Connection to nature. Many dances reflect agrarian lifestyles, mimicking activities like planting rice or moving with nature's rhythm. Tinikling in the Philippines and Saman dance in Indonesia. Religious or spiritual elements. Traditional dances often honor deities, spirits, or ancestors. Both regions integrated animist practices and later adapted them to incorporate Hinduism, Buddhism, and Catholicism. Festive and communal contexts. Dances are often performed during festivals, weddings, or harvest celebrations to bring communities together. Use of traditional instruments, accompaniment by indigenous instruments, such as the Culminating in the Philippines and the Gamelan in Indonesia, enhances the rhythmic and cultural authenticity of the dances. How can you personally help keep these traditions alive? Learn and perform. Engage in workshops or cultural programs to learn traditional dances, and participate in local festivals or performances. Teach others, share your knowledge with peers or younger generations through teaching or organizing community events. Promote awareness. Use social media or community platforms to showcase and celebrate these traditions. Support local artists. Attend performances, buy locally made costumes, or contribute to initiatives preserving cultural arts. Incorporate traditions in modern events. Introduce traditional elements in personal celebrations, such as weddings or gatherings, to maintain relevance. Advocate for inclusion in schools. Encourage educational institutions to integrate traditional dances and festivals into their curricula to foster appreciation among students. Performance Task 1. Revive the rhythm. Description: students will perform a 2 to 3 minute excerpt of a traditional dance, example, Tinikling, Singkil, or Saman dance, in groups of 5 to 6. Guidelines: focus on the cultural meaning behind the dance. Use basic props such as fans, scarves, or bamboo poles if needed. Each group will explain the story or purpose of their chosen dance before performing. Rubrics for Performance Task 1. Performance Task 2. Festival Spotlight. Description: students will individually design a poster for a selected festival, example, Ati-Atihan or Songkran, showcasing its traditional dance and cultural significance. Guidelines: highlight dance features, attire, and cultural meaning. Use creative visuals, text, and cultural symbols. Posters can be hand-drawn or digitally designed. Rubrics for Performance Task 2. Assessment. Traditional dance festivals. Instruction. Choose the correct answer for each question. 5 items. 1. What traditional Filipino dance mimics the movement of birds among bamboo poles? A. Carinosa. B. Tinikling. C. Singkil. D. Pandango. 2. What Indonesian dance is often referred to as the Dance of a Thousand Hands? A. Kikak. B. Saman dance. C. Legong. D. Baris. 3. Which Philippine festival involves street dancing and the honoring of the San Isidro Labrador with colorful parades? A. Panagbenga Festival. B. Sinulog Festival. C. Pahiyas Festival. D. Ati-Atihan Festival. 4. In the Singkil dance of the Philippines, what does the bamboo symbolize? A. Unity and strength. B. Obstacles or challenges in life. C. Growth and prosperity. D. Connection to nature. 5. Why are traditional dances considered important in preserving cultural identity? A. They are entertaining for tourists. B. They connect communities to their heritage and history. C. They promote modernization of local culture. D. They only serve as forms of physical activity. A people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Marcus Garvey. Thank you for watching.